How are you all? Today we are going to again continue with our lesson number 2. Already our lesson is over and we have written exercise, but there are some more things which I wanted to include in the lesson. Okay, so today we are again going to continue with the same lesson. But before beginning with our lesson, let's see what is our today's simple thought. Well, today's thought is what, children? Do what is right, not what is easy. Okay, so you should always choose the right thing for you, not the one which is easy. Okay, so let's continue. If you remember in our lesson what we had studied, we have studied something about the important parallels and meridians. So which are the important parallels that you see? Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, isn't it? And then the Antarctic Circle, isn't it? So these are the important parallels. Fine. But children, what happens when the sun rays fall on these important parallels, isn't it? If you see here, Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, when the sun rays will fall on these two important parallels, how the sun rays will reach, children? Of course not the straight. Okay, this Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn will get the slanted sun rays, not the straight one. So which important parallel will have the straight sun rays? Of course the equator. Okay, this equator will have the straight sun rays. Okay, so Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, there would be less heat because the sun rays, they fall slanted, but on the equator the sun rays come absolutely straight, so there would be more heat on the places which are on the equator and a little bit above the equator, above and below the equator. Okay, so that is the thing. And again, if you go for these other important parallels, Arctic Circle and then the Antarctic Circle, what will happen here for the sun rays? Of course the sun rays will again become more slanted, isn't it? If you compare those slanted sun rays with the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, they would be more slanted, Arctic and Antarctic Circle. Okay, more slanted sun rays means what, children? These parts will get less sun rays, so obviously less heat, isn't it? If the sun rays are more, that means the more heat, isn't it? And at the poles, north and south poles, it's very obvious that there would be very less heat, isn't it? Because sun rays will be less, isn't it? Okay, so Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn will have the slanted sun rays. Slanted sun rays means less heat, but on the equator it receives the straight heat, straight rays of the sun. That's why here you will experience more heat. Again, towards the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, there would be more slanted sun rays, so comparatively less heat. Okay, and at both the poles, again the sun rays, um, okay, yes, on north and south pole, again the sun rays will fall short, isn't it? So that's why there would again be less heat, isn't it? Yes. Huh. So the same thing is written here under the heading points to remember. Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Cancer gets perpendicular sun rays. Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle gets slanted sun rays. So there will be again less heat. At North and South Pole gets more and more slanted sun rays. So again there would be less heat. But equator on the other hand, it gets straight sun rays. So there will be more heat, isn't it? Equator receives more straight sun rays, isn't it? So more heat. Huh. Now, because of this unequal distribution of sun rays on different important parallels and on Earth's surface, what happens, children? Unequal duration and intensity. Intensity means how much is the heat, how much less or more heat. That is the intensity of sunlight. Different temperature zones are formed, children. Just now we saw on Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn slanted sun rays. So different temperatures, less heat. On equator, more heat means more temperature, whereas on the other important parallels, less sun rays, so less temperatures. So like this, different temperature zones are created. Okay, so likewise different temperature zones are formed. Now these zones gives to different pressure belts, so kind of pressure is created, pressure belts are created on the earth's surface because of these different temperature zones. Okay, we are going to study about these pressure belts in more detail in the next lesson, children. Okay, but in this lesson, what is the most important point which should remember is different temperature zones are formed on earth's surface because of this unequal distribution of sun rays. Somewhere more sun rays, so more heat. Somewhere less sun rays, less heat, less temperature. So more sun rays means more temperature, less sun rays means less temperature. Okay, likewise you get different temperature zones, and because of these zones you get the different pressure belts. Okay, pressure belts which are responsible to give us storms, winds. These storms and winds happens because of these pressure belts, children. Okay, and how we get these pressure belts? Out of all these different temperatures, okay, that we see on the earth. One more thing will happen because of this variation in the sunlight. Okay, intensity means somewhere more heat and somewhere less heat. Okay, so because of this variation in sunlight, we see different diversity in plant and animal life. Diversity, it is the variety that we see in plant and animal life. Like if you see in the desert region, you will see different types of cactus and different other plants and different animals. So that variety you see just because of this variation in the sunlight. And if the same thing, if you see near the river or sea, you see different plant life, you see a different animal life, isn't it? So all these things happen, this variation, this diversity, this variety in plant and animal life you get just because of variation in the sunlight. Okay, understood, children, this much? Okay, again I will just repeat for one more time. Huh. These are the important parallels: Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, slanted sun rays. Okay, slanted in Marathi we say tirpe, isn't it? On the equator, straight sun rays. So straight sun rays means what, children? More heat, more temperature. Here less heat, less sun rays, less temperature, isn't it? Arctic circle and Antarctic circle, slanted sun rays means what again? Less heat and less temperature. And at north and south pole again, more and more slanted sun rays means less temperature, isn't it? So because of these different temperatures, you see different temperature zones like this, somewhere more temperature, somewhere less temperature. These are different temperature zones which are formed because of this unequal distribution of sunlight. And these zones again gives us the pressure belts. Pressure belts, nothing but the storms, winds, these are all the pressure belts. And because of this variation in the sunlight, you again see variety in plant and animal life. Okay, did you understand this, children, today? Okay, so what is your today's homework? You have to write down points to remember, which we saw just now, in your notebook without fail. Even though we have completed exercise of our lesson, afterwards you can start doing this homework, points to remember. Fine, you have already drawn this diagram which we have in the textbook in the exercise. The only thing is you have to just write down these points to remember in your notebook. Okay, that's all for your today's homework also, and for your lesson also, children. Okay, we will again meet in the next period, next lesson. Okay.